Welcome to Vegas Circle with Paki and Chris, and today joining the circle, we excited to sit down with this brother, man. We got the founder of MoneyTrain Management. We have Mr. G6. So welcome to the circle, bro.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here, man. Appreciate it. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, we were supposed to do this at least a couple years ago, man.
It's all good. No, not a couple. Don't make it two. Just maybe like
a year.
10 months, maybe a year. You feel me?
We'll put it all there.
It's all in perfect timing, man. We on God's time.
But it's great, man. You're moving and shaking in Vegas, man. So you're doing a lot of great things.
I appreciate it, man. You guys as well, man. I've seen a lot of people coming on your platform and killing it, man.
We appreciate it, man.
Come through and stop by.
So tell us, man, so you're originally from the D.C. area.
Yes, sir.
Grew up in California.
Yes, sir.
And then what brought you to Vegas?
What brought me out here, I had a good friend, Michael Henderson, who he was doing a lot of VIP hosting and things like that. So I just came out here for an opportunity. This was about 6 years ago.
Okay.
So I came out here. He was working at Chateau. So he was like, man, come out here and start VIP hosting, because he's like, he knows the way that I move. He was like, the way that you move, man, you get out here just understanding the clubs, understanding the casinos and stuff like that, and you understand Vegas. So I was basically VIP hosting for like not even 2 months, less than maybe, I would say maybe a month. Okay. And then I ended up linking up with ML Billion. He's one of the youngest black billionaires. He specializes in automated stock trading and things like that. Wow. And this is before everybody was on Instagram and things like that. So he wanted me to be executive lifestyle branding for his brand. And within a month, boom, I was working with him and working with his company and things like that. So things kind of picked up fast. It's Vegas, you know what I'm saying? I'm from LA, so, you know, it's fast-paced, man.
It's like a second home. Vegas and LA is a second home.
You know, people don't even think about that. VIP hosting in Vegas, it really is a great networking opportunity. Because, you know, we've had another person on the show that was kind of dealing with the same thing, and they were able to branch that and make connections. And it's almost like being a VIP host, you're a professional networker, which essentially is what all successful businesses are based off of. Like, what do you think you learned from that, or you think you already had that before transitioning to
I already had it, but I mean, it just expanded everything, you know, expanded the network, you know, because that's what it is. When you're building your net worth, you got to build your network, right? So that's all it was, is just networking in the highest form. And he really wasn't privy to all of the social media stuff. He would call me 24/7 G, because I'm always Instagramming, Snapchatting, and all that stuff. So he was just like, I need somebody like you that's always going to, you know, just bring things to the forefront.
Yeah. And so you've got multiple facets. So being in the music industry, you actually an artist. You've done some songwriting,
yes, sir.
producing, and you got multiple artists under your label too.
Yes, sir, man. Executive artist. That's what I like to call myself. You know, I'm an artist. I've been making music for a while, but you know, as I got older, I wanted to put more people in position, because I feel like that's where you win the most. You know what I'm saying? More people in position, more opportunities. It's like it branches out. It's like a tree. You know what I'm saying? The more I put somebody in position, it always works back in my favor.
It is true. And the music industry, it's moving so fast, man. With it being global, and then the internet and streams.
And it's moving different. It's not the traditional, you know, you just rap in front of somebody and you get a deal.
Yeah.
You know, it's everybody wants to be independent, but you know, we can get into the whole independent situation, because
I would love to talk about that.
Some people feel like they're independent, but it's kind of like you're not really independent unless you're really doing it all yourself. Because if you're still under a label or under an umbrella, it's really not that independent, because they're putting up the money at the end of the day. So some people like to say it's independence, but I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up.
Independent, I think, stop when people stop selling out the hood of their car. That's
right. Or just you doing it all yourself, like you making, you know, like putting all the plays together. You know, you working on all the marketing, you working on all the promo, as opposed to you having a team that have the plugs with the big majors. So if you're working with the majors, I mean, since I'm independent, I kind of really wouldn't say it's independent. I have a lot of good relationships with like Interscope and things like that, but so I know the difference.
It kind of makes sense. Yeah, just from a marketing perspective alone, like having you being associated with that gives you credibility instead of somebody trying to.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's nothing wrong with like having the credible sources. But
no, not at all.
Just everybody's throwing around that word, you know.
Do you think it's because, like, for example, Nipsey Hussle, for example, right? Rest in peace. But
rest in peace.
You know, he always talked about the independent labels, right? Yeah. But then he mentioned that he partnered with, you know, a huge company, but that was for distribution, correct? That's kind of how it could work. I don't know how the L.
It's interesting because you know, I'm familiar with Nipsey on a, you know, like on a personal level too. Like I knew Nip and stuff like that. I'm from LA. He went to Hamilton. I went to Beverly High, so I knew him.
That's why I brought it up. So,
one of my good close friends was really close with him, so I knew that. But if we get to Nipsey, when Nipsey first signed his first deal, it was through Epic.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know.
So he wasn't independent.
That part wasn't independent, you know, and I know that he works with like Steve Lobel and things like that. Shouts out to Steve Lobel. He's a great manager and things like that. So, I mean, that wasn't independent. I think where people got it lost was Nipsey has an independent grind, an independent mindset. And when you're creative and you do certain things that are outside of the box, I think sometimes people will put independence with that. But it's just an independent grind. You feel like you're doing it on your own, but you still have a team behind you. But sometimes the label might not do what you wanted them to do.
Sure.
So you might feel independent in the midst of a situation.
Got it.
Some of those things, you know, I mean, if you want to get technical, so I don't want all the Nipsey fans going crazy, but you know, he was signed to Epic, and then once he dropped the first album, it was a partnership with Atlantic. So,
honestly, to me, I don't understand why it's such a big deal one way or the other. For me, it all boils down to what kind of deal.
Sounds good.
It's like just, to me, it's like the word self-made. I despise that word because it's not nothing is self-made. Somebody's cutting the check to cut the check to cut. Somebody put you in position. Somebody helps somebody. So I mean, is there anybody that's self-made? It's really we all need each other. You know, we all need something. So
true.
And as an artist, it's almost like a clear-cut pathway. Like you sign up and
you need a team. And that's the
yeah.
biggest thing an artist needs. An artist needs a team. So
yeah, you can't do it yourself, man. But it's like, how do you feel about like the Las Vegas industry, right? So you have the big markets, obviously New York City is huge, LA is huge. What do you think is missing in Vegas? Because there's so much going on.
Vegas kind of needs off top, I would say they need like a poster child for music per se. You know, the biggest artists, if we're talking about for, I guess that would just blow up on a main street level that I know, you know, somewhat kind of personal through a few relationships is Neo. You know,
Neo's from Vegas.
He's from Vegas, but he didn't put it out there that he's from Vegas, so to speak. So
till later, right?
Right. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people didn't really know that Neo was from Vegas.
Yeah, I never knew.
Now, I knew it later because you start going in interviews and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So once it comes down to that, I feel like they need, you know, everybody knows, you know, if you think of Cali, you think of Snoop, you know, if you think of ATL, you know, you could think of anybody, Outkast,
whatever,
Right. So it's almost like Vegas, they would need like a breakout star that is holding the Vegas flag. Because, you know, it's kind of hard to outshine. Vegas is known for casinos and known for the nightlife and known for entertainment in that aspect, in that regard, but it's not really known for it as far especially like rap. You know what I'm saying? Like I know Dizzy, right? You know, so shouts out to Dizzy. I know there's a few people that are from Vegas that are doing it, but as far as on a major level, it's different because that's what it needs, and that's what that'll spring off a whole bunch of other artists. It's a lot of independent artists in Vegas, but I don't think a lot of people really understand what you have to do to get to that next level.
And you think it's going to be more likely because of the fact that obviously rap culture has been a lot more rugged, and you kind of have to be coming up from a very difficult place to really make it. But as rap's kind of progressing into a different inherent culture,
now. Yeah, it's so
that
global.
maybe people are going to be more likely to focus on that part of it, where you don't have to come from Chicago or Detroit or an ATL to be a rapper.
I definitely think it can get there, and I think what's really helping it get there is the platforms and things like this. Like, when I moved out here 6 years ago, people weren't really into podcasts and things like that. That's why I kind of made it, a part of my journey, a part of my due diligence is, going on all these, nationwide tours and putting podcasts together and just going on everybody's platform. And that's what's bringing it together because it's showing more creatives. It's showing how people are more creative. It's showing how everybody is kind of working together for that common goal. So if everybody uses the entertainment as like the springboard, then we could start actually supporting each other. Because, I mean, that's what it comes down to. It also comes down to a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? People have to understand when we're talking about independence, if you want to be independent, you have to really realize how much you have to invest in yourself, in an artist. You know what I'm saying? It takes millions and millions of dollars. It doesn't take a couple mics and a couple chairs and a couple cameras to launch an artist. It takes a lot of marketing, a lot of time.
Yeah.
So to me, once people come together, this is helping it. This whole new, just the podcasting and everybody coming together, that helps. Yeah. And then more support. Yeah. And the residencies and stuff like that at Dre's, when I first moved out here, like I said, I was at Chateau. That wasn't, they were just kind of going down, and Dre's was known as the Cromwell. It wasn't known as Dre's yet. So that helped it. Yeah. But also in Vegas, you have to have a big name to get a residency. You get what I'm saying?
Because it drives traffic.
Right. Yeah. And then they're booking artists that have already have catalog. They're booking, Ludacris, they're booking Nelly, people that have already been doing it for 20 years and stuff like that. They have new artists obviously and stuff like that too. Yeah. But they just started kind of doing that because they don't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose their investment, and they got people coming from all over the world. So
seems like it makes it a little harder for the local artists to break out because now you're competing for our entertainment dollars with more whereas you can have a Fillmore in Detroit where you can book a lot of local artists, or you have where here you're my options are I can go see Ludacris, I can go see Celine Dion, I can go
So
see
many
Backstreet
different
Boys,
people,
or I can go see a local artist. And
That's
I think
true.
it's harder to break into that
That's
market
true.
when you don't have that big name.
And I like, I mean, just backing up a little bit, I like how you were talking about, because you get it, or it's so organic with podcasts, right? Because the regular, not knocking the radio and things like that, but it's so organic when you have a podcast because you get the real person.
You
right?
get the real person,
it's real conversation
in real time, and that's what kind of like that's really helped me during the pandemic, because once the pandemic happened, no one could have these, natural. You couldn't go on podcasts. Everything was kind of shut down.
Yeah.
And everybody didn't really have the connections that could actually, link up and still go. So I had artists and things like that I was managing, and I was like, hey, the Money Train, we ain't stopping. You know what I'm saying? We still got to make things happen. I remember I was getting on planes. There was no one on it, just flying all over just so I could get this type of experience, because artists need that more than anything.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? Especially since now that's kind of what it's been. That's what's launching artists. And you see your artists that you might not even think, now they all going on podcasts. Now they're all creating their own podcasts, and they're more comfortable. They like that more than the radio. You know what I'm saying? They can talk, they can curse. They don't have to feel like it's so, so constricted.
A lot of times it's scripted.
Right, scripted and constricted. This commercial breaks and all that type of stuff. On some podcasts, they can drink, they can smoke, they can do what they got to do and feel comfortable. So
you get it, man. It's funny because when we formed this 4 years, we're going on our 4th year now.
Oh man, congrats!
And
congrats.
It's been crazy. We did Zoom, we've done so many different things that you have to do, but when you bring it together and you're able to feel the positive energy, it's nothing like it.
That's just like when you call me.
Yeah.
A lot of people do things.
Change
that's a game changer. Cause that's how I move. You feel me? I was like, oh man, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about, man.
It's so funny because every guest we come on, they're always surprised that I do that. Right. And they'll tell you, I call around.
I wasn't. I was like, he gets it. Same way you said, I was like, he gets it.
I'm glad you noticed that.
You both networkers.
For sure, man. We hit it off. So talk a little bit about when did you start MoneyTrain Management?
I started MoneyTrain Management, I would say, in concept, maybe 5 years ago, but actually going hard, maybe about 4 years, like you guys.
Okay, that's
as far as signing artists, monetizing, marketing, putting everybody just in position. So that's been popping for a nice little 4 years, man, and it's been beautiful.
With your management, is it different genres? Is it hip hop? Is it what? I didn't get a chance to see who you actually have
right
under
now.
your umbrella.
The artists that I deal with are basically in hip hop, R&B, and things like that. But I manage different aspects of it. A lot of my artists, they're authors as well. They write books. Like shouts out to Verse the Legend. He's written about 2 or 3 books. Life is a Test and 2 other books. So it's really once you understand how this works, you can kind of reverse engineer it and just do it kind of the same way, because everything needs marketing, everything needs promo, everybody needs press, everybody's trying to get verification, a blue check, everybody's trying to get recognition. A lot of people don't even know that's what it takes. It takes getting a lot of press, so people want to know about you. That's why the whole verified situation, they're just verifying that you are who you say you are. So you have to start getting more press about you.
And when you made the decision to start the business, what kind of obstacles did you have overcome at the beginning? Not so much obstacles, but how was the springboard that you had to build off of? What was that big learning endeavor for you?
To be completely honest, man, I've been doing independent. It was really independent radio, interviews. I've been doing that for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Just totally understand. This started out in Los Angeles and stuff like that. Just
got it.
Independent, because it was like, okay, you can't just walk up to Power 106. You can't just walk up to, what was it, KJLH or things like that. You kind of had to have the plugs and connections. Sure. And that comes with, obviously budgets and things like that. So I was just going on a lot of independent. That's why I understand it. I've been doing it for a while. So I was doing that for 10 years ago. It's crazy when I look back on my Instagram. I'm like, damn, 2012. I was like, that was one of my first ones and stuff like that. So doing that in the beginning, that it was just trial and error, really, just understanding you're not gonna get all of the receptiveness, the same reception that you want all the time. But if you just stay consistent, people start, like I said, the fact that you were like, hey man, I saw you on this, that comes from years of work, you know. So just the fact that you said you saw me on some other platforms, that's
and we know all the same people,
right?
Which is
and
great.
Vegas is like LA. Vegas is it's smaller in a sense, but it's like LA is I always call LA a small big city, because it's like
feels too,
it's like when you when you're doing the same things, I play sports, I'm acting, I'm in music and things like that. just, when you're popular, things like that, you kind of attract the same circles and stuff like that. So Vegas, we all in the same space, we're all in the same space, all looking for the same goal. And now everything is, like I said, it's all one playing field. It doesn't even feel like we're on a whole bunch of different playing fields. It's like one big playing field.
Because I guess you kind of grow. People learn that you need like you said, you need to network, you need each other to continue to grow, and everybody, those like-minded people all meet, because they're all trying to grow the same thing.
Exactly.
So it's
I think that's one of the things, like, to answer what you were saying about like going through things. That's what you realize. Okay, everybody's not going to be in your corner. You gotta really push, because no one cares about, this is your dream. This is what you want to do. No one's going to push except for you. So I think that was one of the biggest things I had to learn, because once I was getting put in position, it's like, they just say, go ahead, do the interview, stuff like that. It's like, it's no team, not all the time. Sometimes I don't want to bombard you guys and have a video person or that type of stuff. I got a nice amount of cameras already, but sometimes you don't always have that team. You don't always have somebody that's coming in. So that's more trial and error things that I had to go through. But it really wasn't that many bumps in the road, because like I said, God's been blessing me, putting me in a good position. I've always been acting. I've always been, in the spotlight, so to speak, in certain regards. So that's just what it's been.
That's good, man. Yeah, I love Las Vegas, man.
Me too.
That's why I've been here, man. Like, it was crazy, man. Like I said, in the first month, just linking up with ML Billion and just seeing his transition, like.
Yeah. Vegas has just got so much going on, man. I moved here in 2007. This is the longest place I've ever lived. It's great. Yeah, it's a great place to be. How do you decide who you want to partner with, as far as an artist? Do they have to be booming? Is it somebody you just believe in? Is it a gut thing? Like, how do you decide?
Everything you said, except for them have to be booming. Because
so they don't already have
booming's relative. If booming's relative, if they don't have to always have, because that's what I'm about. I like to help grow certain things. I want to help grow the artists. I want to help grow platforms. Like when I linked up with certain platforms, Jake, for instance.
Yeah.
His
shout out to Jake. That's a good
shout out to Jake.
He
wasn't where he was at now, but it's like we help each other. You know what I'm saying? I help him, he helped me. I brought a lot of clients over there. You know what I'm saying? He helped me with opportunities. We help each other, and you want to help build together. So, but definitely knowing that they believe in themselves. And then, as far as management, knowing that they believe in what I can bring to the table as well. Because I feel like a lot of people have, it's like that bad ex-girlfriend, they always have like a bad management experience or a bad experience with somebody that's trying to help them. And I always tell them, I'm going to help you as much as you want to help. This is your dream. I'm just helping facilitate certain aspects of it. So.
I noticed that a lot, especially when we were building this podcast. It's like everybody's got their guard up to try to figure out what the angle is, right? And you start figuring out, like,
I'm in management, man. I'm you guys watch Entourage? Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so I always call myself like the Black Ari Gold. You feel me? So, I love that.
You need somebody like that, but you need somebody in your corner.
Right. So you understand, like Ari, he's going hard for his clients and stuff like that, but it's because the love that he has for it.
Exactly,
so it matches. They have to have the love for the game, and then I have the love for the game, and then they have the hustle. And then I have to hustle, and then we meet in the middle.
Yeah, he's like a bulldog, right? He's really super aggressive, but you protect me.
But like I said, you got to be able to just deal with everything, man. You got to be able to, throw the blows, you know what I'm saying, talk shit, you feel me, and just be able to show up, because anything can happen. Every phone call, like Entourage, I think the biggest thing there that people didn't really see is that every phone call changed the dynamic of everything. When the phone rings.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you be out chilling and this deal has to do with this, but the phone rings and that changes the whole dynamic. It's like variable change.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay. You've never seen it. It's
no, I never watched Entourage. I got to check it out.
You're going to be hooked.
Oh, you're going to be hooked.
Yeah, that's what I've heard nothing but good things about it.
It's basically like the life of Mark Wahlberg, kind of.
Yeah, that's what
also emotionally, I think I binge watched it too much, so I got so emotionally invested in the characters. I was depressed as shit.
I know, man.
Don't give it away. I got to try to watch it. So Mark Wahlberg, with us being a business show, we look at obviously entrepreneurs.
Right.
What's like the biggest failure you've experienced, and what did you learn from it?
It's hard for me to say the biggest. I mean, in business, I used to want to play basketball, so that's the probably only thing.
You got some height too, man. How tall are you?
6'4", man.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I think that might be the only thing that I could say that I failed at. But when it comes to just in this business, I really wouldn't see it as failures because it's just lessons. And every time something didn't go the way that it was supposed to go, it always ended up going a little better. Like I said, I came out here to literally, I'm working for Chateau, and all of a sudden I'm working with one of the youngest Black billionaires on the planet.
Yeah,
it's one of those situations. And then watching, and then it never feels like a failure because I've watched people build their platforms. I've watched them go from him having an emblem on a car to now he's got a film studio that I run, and he's got private equity firms and things like that. So
that's what's up.
I'm not trying to say I'm perfect, but you know, I failed at probably other like obstacles in life, but not that. Yeah, maybe not at business. I mean, not at business, because business just works like that. It puts you in a different space. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I don't have the whole I invested this much money into this and it didn't pop off, because anytime artists invest in me, we always make it happen. Anytime I invest in an artist, we always make it happen. And that's just with time. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm sorry, kind of on that same token, you talked about a huge springboard for you was meeting, the what was his name again?
ML Billion.
ML Billion.
Shouts out to Billion.
How do you what kind of tip would you give to somebody that maybe isn't the greatest networker? Maybe something that comes naturally to you to be in a situation to be confident. Like, how do you somebody wanting to be an entrepreneur take that next step?
Play your position. I actually met him through. So I was working with one of my partners, Jonas. And Jonas was actually booking him tables, and things that he needed Jonas to do, Jonas couldn't facilitate. And as opposed to being, jealous or feeling a certain type of way, he outsourced to me. So that's what I would say. I would say, if this is not what you do, find somebody that can do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't always want to be the smartest in the room. I don't always want to be the wealthiest, richest, or whatever in the room. If I can't do it, I want to have people around me that can. Yeah. So if you're not the most outgoing person, get around somebody that is, so they can facilitate that if you need it. Or, like I said, get into something else. Like you were talking about NFTs and all that stuff. You don't even need to be this. You can you can jump into the metaverse. And you don't need a personality in that regard.
That's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. With the, kind of piggybacking off of what Chris was saying, we like to leave our listeners with just a nugget and things like that. Because the music industry is so flooded and the film industry is so flooded,
film industry,
it's unreal.
And it's different now, but keep going.
Yeah, but what I was going to ask you is, like, what would you tell somebody that wants to maybe start their own company, wants to be an artist, wants to get in, be a musician? Maybe they might have people that, the haters that are telling them don't do it or whatever the situation is. Right. What would you leave them with on why they should do it or why they should follow that dream?
If it's your passion, nothing's going to stop that. If this is what you really want to do, I mean, it's cliche, but you just got to do it. I mean, I didn't see myself jumping into like being in management and things like that 4 and 5 years ago. It kind of just happened. And then once you notice that everybody was looking at me for certain things that they couldn't get, so it was like, if this is really what you want to do, you really got to do it. You really just got to put yourself out there. And if you're not that type of person, do research. You know what I'm saying? Do research on yourself before you do research on a book or the profession that you want to get into. Know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am. I know my purpose, so that's what it is. And my purpose is to help people, bring people together, make people happy, make people smile, make people laugh, and then everything ensues,
Yeah. I heard that probably about 20 years ago. Then I heard Kevin Hart say it again, where it's like you're writing your own book.
Right.
And you kind of were piggybacking on that. And it's real, especially with all the BS we've been dealing with COVID and all these mental things that people are dealing with. It's almost like it's setting us back, that we have to go back to like all the positive things.
Exactly.
I mean, I personally had to do it, get back into like the motivational stuff to keep your mind going.
We all have to do it,
100%.
Immerse yourself into whatever your passion is, Everybody's got to be passionate about one thing. Now, even if it's video games, you can monetize off video games. You can monetize off YouTube if that's what you are. If you know how many computer geeks, now they're millionaires just because this is what they put themselves into.
We were just talking. He's been telling me for the longest with my kids. Yeah, because he's been telling what you telling the truth. Just to sidetrack a little bit. I mean, he's been telling me before, like I didn't want my kids to playing video games, and he was like, "Look at the studies of everything." He was saying Elon Musk and all these different people all play video games.
And totally honest, it's funny. My whole life growing up, everybody was pushing me away. Don't play video games. Now, if I would have been more into it, I'd be a billionaire by now.
No, that's true. My son's in the video games, and he understands that world. And he has a YouTube channel and things like that. So it's like he's building. So, I mean, if you have a passion, man, I mean, all I can say is go for it. Like, it's really. I don't really have anything that's too antiquated.
That's real. Yeah.
If this is really what you want to do in life, go ahead and do it. If it's not, veer off and do something else. Like I said, it's all about coming together. It's all about being with creatives and being creative, and thinking outside the box. There is no box anymore. There's no box.
Everything's global now. Man.
Everything is global. Everything is on our phones, man. Like as a kid, I didn't have an iPhone. Could I imagine if I could had Instagram when I was in high school and stuff like that? So it's like you can do anything. TikTok, all this stuff. It's so many platforms. There's so many things you can do now. So it's like The world is really in your pocket. Like you can do.
I'm glad you're saying it because you get it. So, just to kind of transition a little bit, we always ask our guests favorite restaurant in Vegas.
Favorite restaurant in Vegas? Yeah. I like STK, man.
STK.
I like STK.
Everybody keeps talking about STK, man.
I'm not gonna lie.
Multiple times.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna because I just had some great experiences at STK.
I think everybody, they do a good job.
I think we've had them on. Literally, I think probably about at least 6 people mentioned STK.
It's a great vibe. I've been there with a lot of my high end clients, a lot of my good friends and things like that. It's a great vibe. And like I said, I don't really have a whole bunch of other ones that just come to my mind like that.
STK's a win. I mean, because it's nice, cosmopolitan. It's got good food, DJ, the whole nine.
Exactly. And it's about the experience. When you want to go eat somewhere, it's about the experience. It's all of that type of stuff.
I agree with you.
I'm trying to get back there. It's been a while.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, it's good. It's a good spot.
You've been right, of course.
Multiple times. Yeah, my wife in the corner shaking her head. So she been there multiple times. But what else are you focused on for 2022?
Entrepreneurship at its finest, man. Okay. I'm just really focused on my artists and focused on myself, obviously, and just a lot more recognition, a lot more press. Today, my artist Versa Legend, he was in, I think, on number 11 on the Apple Music charts for a compilation that he did.
Word.
So yeah, shouts out to Verse.
What's his name? You said
Verse the Legend.
Okay.
Yeah, shouts out to Verse. He had three records, 3 singles on that. We've been doing campaign for him for the last year, and he's been a lot of press. So this year, more press, just more recognition, because that's what brings everything together, man. I mean, how does anybody know about anything until we can put the press on it? You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put the press on everything. More music. I'm gonna drop more music. Hopefully I got a couple independent little film situations and things like that, TV shows and things like that I've been working on as well. And just literally more press, just more recognition.
You focus, man.
Yeah, you sound driven. So
I mean, that's what it's about, man.
Success.
We love having people like you come on because you give. It's iron sharpening iron.
Exactly.
And you get that energy.
Motto. That's
you know what I mean? You get the energy.
And you guys get it as well. Like I said, saying we bounce off each other. It's like you guys are receptive to what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like it, man. That's great, man.
For sure.
One of the things we always talk about, just kind of end off, is being an entrepreneur. What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom is everything. Freedom is everything. Literally, when you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like you're confined, constricted to something, and you can just do it. Freedom. Freedom is everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything I'm doing is for the freedom of my family. I can make sure that my family's taken care of, my mom's taken care of, my son's taken care of. That's what it's about. Back in the day, I had an uncle that always told me, if you wake up every day and you looking at a woman that you don't want to be with, and you go into a job you don't want to go to, you're not free.
Yeah, that's real. That's straight up real. Stop pointing. I see your point over there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's real, man. We've been here 18 years, man. My pops told me something similar. He said, if you got to make sure you can laugh.
Yeah.
If you could continue to keep laughing, because that's what gets everything.
That's what gets
going.
Everything going.
You know what I mean?
So, when it comes to freedom,
life's too serious, man.
Yeah, and it can't be. And that's, like I said, that's why podcasts. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes everything. And especially, like you said, the times that we're going through.
100%.
People need nothing but good energy, good vibes, 100%. Man. You know what I'm saying? Some smiles. You know what I'm saying? You want to be around some good people, some great women, people that are going to motivate you, that are going to drive you. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at even the fact that what we went through, and then you still holler back.
Yeah.
I would have still kept hollering because you know what I mean? Because I don't take it. A lot of people take it personal. A lot of people, man.
The first thing when I got on the phone, it's not a problem.
It's not a problem, man. It's not a problem, man. Trust me, you're not the first one. I'm sure you won't be the last, because everything is in God's timing, man. That's what I believe on, man. You know, we're on a. This is the real universe aside from the metaverse.
Yeah,
you know
tell Chris that, man. Say that one more time, man.
This I'm gonna go home, put them
right. Yeah, this the real world. You know what I mean? This is the real universe.
No, I really enjoy hanging out with you, man. Seriously, man. We had to have you come back because you got You're a positive guy, man, and you represent the right way, and it's a pleasure to have you on. What's some of your social handles that people can reach out to you?
Just holler at me on capital G6 on Instagram. You don't have to do too much, capital G6, man. Right when you go through, you'll see me. You can't miss me. There you go. And shouts out to you guys. Shouts out to all the platforms that have had me. Shouts out to Las Vegas entrepreneurs.
Oh, that's my guy. Yeah. For sure, Del Wayne. We're on there, man. So.
Right. Oh, for sure. Look at y'all, man. I was top 40 under 40.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, just shouts out to everybody. Yeah. Really, that's really been helping bring all of this together, man. And like I said, I thank you guys again for having me, for sure.
Awesome. No doubt, man. So we appreciate you, man. And make sure you subscribe with us. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. And then VegasCircle.com. So, seriously, man, that was good stuff.
No,
appreciate you,
definitely, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was good, man.